What's up, y'all? We are back for Power, Season 4, Episode 7. You lied to my face. All right. Now, Tasha, girl, what are you doing? What in the entire fuck are you doing? I'm not here for it. I'm just not here for it. But we will get there. So let's start out at the beginning, okay? Um, Tariq and Ghost are on the train. And what it looks like is the gravity of the situation. Everything that just occurred with Kanan and Jukebox is kind of settling in for Ghost. Tariq looks clueless, okay? And we'll see as the episode progresses that, yes, Tariq is still very clueless. Um, and then we see Tommy arrive at his stash house. Black Grimace is on the floor with his hands bound. Tommy's like, what the fuck? Grimace tells him Ghost and Kanan robbed the stash house, okay? And Tommy, this is where Tommy finds out Kanan is still alive. Ghost calls while they're there at the stash house, and of course Tommy's pissed the fuck off, and he's like, what the fuck is going on, Ghost is like, look, shut the fuck up and listen. Tariq's in trouble. Okay, so I'm come meet you, Tommy says, right? um Now, Tariq and Ghost, they show up, um and Tommy and Ghost are talking, and this is where it comes out about the first ransom incident, because Tommy's like, nigga, I thought you killed Kanan. Like, you said you set his ass on fire. Ghost was like, yeah, I did. I mean, he's, burnt up. He's got burns all over his arms and everything. Tommy's like, his arms? So that's what the fuck that was with that picture. Tasha was right. Ghost, of course, is clueless because Ghost never knew about the first ransom incident because Proctor told Tasha not to tell him. So Tommy goes on to say, yeah, they text Tasha this picture with this big crispy ass arm around him, and so that's the pieces right there are coming together. Kanan is alive, has been alive all this fucking time, okay? And so they go back to the car, and Tommy asks Tariq, was like, did Dre know Kanan was alive? And Tariq, for some odd reason, lies to Tommy and covers for Dre and says, nah, he didn't know. Okay? So, and we'll see later on why, I guess, why Tariq lied. Okay? So then, back at the round table, I guess you could still call it that, the prosecution, it's Angie, Sandoval, Nutsacks, and Mock. So Mock didn't get suspended, but everybody else did. And they're still going back and forth talking about they still want a conviction. And basically, Mock is still being the genuine asshole that he always is, saying he used institutional, it was something how he put it, the reason why he didn't get suspended. He said he, as the newcomer, didn't have institutional knowledge, he said, of all the goings on amongst the prosecution, okay? But of course everybody else at the round table ain't with that shit. They like, nigga, fuck you, you should get suspended. Sandoval gave him the middle finger because the nigga asked, do any of y'all need y'all parking validated? Like, just a real bastard. So that was that, okay? And then Tariq and Ghost show up at the penthouse. Tasha runs out all frantic and is like, where have y'all been all night? And now I want to hear from Tariq where y'all have been. And at that moment is when Tariq takes a couple of steps toward Tasha and is like, you lied to my face. You lied about Sean. Tasha's clueless. Ghost slides in and is like, yeah, he been with Kanan all this time, and apparently this ain't the first fucking time he was kidnapped, okay? Tasha's still standing there looking clueless. She don't know what's going on or whatever. And then everything, this is another point in the show where kind of everything kind of just comes out, okay? Because once Tariq and Tasha have that running in the foyer of the penthouse, Ghost pulls Tasha off to the side into the bedroom, and they're arguing. They in the closet arguing, and they're basically going back and forth about Tariq's ass has been out here wilding out while you've been in jail trying to stay so-called stress-free because Proctor says you need to be stress-free. Ghost is like, okay, what you think is easy being locked up? They going back and forth about that. Tasha points out, well, the reason you were in jail to begin with is because you couldn't leave that Angie alone. Okay, so Ghost says, oh, this has nothing to do with Angie, whatever it has to do with Tariq being with fucking Kanan. And Tasha's like, well, Tariq wouldn't have been with no motherfucking Kanan had you killed him 10 years ago when I said you should. Raina is outside, so Raina overhears them arguing. Okay, she knocks on the door because she says that Caesar, I guess that's the driver or the doorman downstairs, says that somebody's there to visit. And we see that that's motherfucking Simon Says. Okay, so Simon Says shows up at the penthouse saying, we had this already booked. I'm here because of the interview. We want to do your image makeover, because now he has this vested interest with this real estate venture. Okay, so he shows up talking about doing an interview, and Tasha's not with it because they want her and the kids to be a part of the interview. Okay, Simon pulls Ghost aside and says, this has to do with your rebranding, basically. Okay, so we need her and we need the kids. Ghost goes and tells Tasha, look, fuck all that, you gonna do it. Okay, so Tasha pretty much has to go along with it, right? Okay, now Dre and Tommy are outside the warehouse. Julio's car is sitting there. Tommy confronts Dre. As soon as he hops out the whip, he confronts Dre about Kanan. Andre lies, of course, and is like, no, I didn't know about Kanan being alive. Is Tariq okay? Whatever. Tommy's like, I mean, what's up? Like, they damn near killed Tariq. So what the fuck? And Dre is like, nah, I didn't know. Kanan's gonna come after me. Did Tariq say that I knew? Nigga, I can't with Dre. Like, this is getting to be way too much for me. But anyway, Tommy says, nah, he didn't say you knew anything. Okay, so then they move on to talking about 718. Okay, that's Julio's car. I haven't heard from him in 24 hours. Tommy's like, yeah, he hit me too. I ain't talked to him. Okay, so we supposed to be meeting this new premiere here. Tommy stops for a minute because, Tommy didn't know nothing about that. Okay, so they go inside the warehouse and Dre's acting surprised. Okay, because they see Julio stretched out dead, right? And Julio, like I said, is stretched out dead. Andre's like, okay, so who gonna be the distro? I mean, Julio knew what he was getting into. He dead now, so I mean, what's up? Like, Tommy's like, nigga, Julio's body ain't even cold, and you talking about distro. Okay, but I want a meeting with Uriel. Okay, and Uriel is the Toros. Okay, that killed Julio in the last episode. Dre, of course, is kind of antsy because he knows what the fuck is up. Dre knows that he set all of this up. He knows eventually that everything is just going to come tumbling down. It's just a matter of time before everybody figures everything out, okay? But Julio, I'm sorry, not Julio. Tommy says, all right, cool. You got the job. You the distro. But I want that fucking meeting with Uriel. Okay. Tommy rolls out. This slimy ass nigga Dre bends down next to Julio and is like, I won, motherfucker. Okay, Dre, you digging yourself in deeper and deeper, but we gonna see. Your days are numbered, Dre. Okay. Now, then, let's see. What else we got happening here? Angie, Cooper Saxe, and Sandoval, they are leaving the building after their meeting with Mock, and they're still talking about, they want, Sax still wants a conviction against Jamie. Okay, so he vows that he's going to still get Jamie, and he's going to take Angie's ass down with him. Okay, they all agree still though that Mock is a fucking asshole. Okay, that's the consensus. We all know that. But we still see, especially as the episode progresses, we still see everybody is still pretty much out for self, especially that damn Tasha. Anyway, we'll get there. Okay. So Tommy and Ghost are over at Truth in the office talking, and Ghost is telling Tommy, look, I know it's fucked up that we lost Julio, but we can't respond right now because I got this case I'm trying to beat. This case involves you too, so we can't just go out there just busting on niggas because that ain't a good look right now. Okay, I agree, but Tommy's always had this thing with Ghost telling him what to do. Okay, so you can still see that it's still there because Tommy was like, nigga, you been out of jail 5 minutes and you're not gonna ask me what I'm gonna do, you're just telling me. Okay, but then the Ruiz recording comes up about Ghost not telling Tommy that Ruiz was wearing a wire, all of that back and forth. Okay, the tape, where's the tape? The tape is gone. Okay, but Ghost ain't too hot on how the tape got gone. Okay, so, and we're gonna talk about that too. Now Tasha and Raina are back at the penthouse. They are in Raina's room. Raina at this point is like, I am over this. Okay, y'all keep on floating around here acting like I don't know no better. What the fuck is going on? Like, tell me what's up. Okay, where was Tariq all this time? Where was my dad? Okay, what the fuck is going on with this Kanan? Okay, so Tasha goes on and tells Raina kind of sort of the deal with Kanan. Okay, and so Raina, of course, is putting that together in her mind from the argument that she heard earlier on, because she's like, why is all of this going on? I need to make sense of this. Tariq too is trying to make sense of it too, but Tariq is just stupid. So he's not really, it's not happening the same way with Tariq as it's happening with Raina. Okay, but it is what it is. So Sandoval and Nutsacks are talking to Mock, okay, in Mock's office. They are trying to push this on to Donovan, because we know Donovan found the pistol at Truth that Mike planted. So this is their out. They're trying to use Donovan as a scapegoat. Okay, Sandoval is trying to use Donovan as a scapegoat. Okay, so he's basically framing it up to Mock like, yeah, Donovan was upstairs by himself or something like that. Somehow he had it, but basically just framing it up to say Donovan did it. Okay, and he says, that Donovan found Greg's body, signed Jamie's arrest warrant, and found the weapon. Okay, so that's the angle that they're taking. Now, over at the diner, Donovan and Angie are having lunch. They talking still about the same situation, about who killed Greg, okay, and all the particulars of it. The video surveillance, okay, Angie's like, I'm suspended, so I can't look into this, but I need for you, since you're on desk duty, to find out who knew you were turning off the security cameras. I believe that's what she said. We gotta look at those tapes, because we gotta see who it was that was up and around that area at that time, okay, because we know the tapes were altered. And initially Donovan was like, well, Dre must have done it. Okay, but Angie's like, well, when did they have time? Like, no one had time to do that. Okay, so that's how they come to Donovan getting the footage so they can review it again to see who may have altered the footage. Okay, now Terry and Tasha are talking about the interview. Okay, and Terry's like, basically, you have to do it because they could grab Ghost again, and you have to still maintain the image. You have to keep it up, so you have to do the interview. Tasha's like, okay, fine, I guess, whatever. And Terry's like, but I don't want to represent your husband anymore. I wonder why. You don't want to represent him no more all of a sudden. But anyway, so, but Tasha's like, okay, well, we need you. And then she looks at him and is like, I need you. So he agrees to do it, of course. Them two stankin' asses. Okay. Anyway, so now Proctor and Ghost are talking. Okay. The Ruiz tape comes up, and he asks about this is when Proctor tells Ghost that Tommy killed Bailey. Okay, because Ghost didn't know that Tommy killed Bailey up until this point. So Proctor's like, Tommy is the real fucking live wire here. Like, we don't know what he's gonna do at any given time. So he's the one that killed Bailey. He stabbed him to death in my apartment, and it just is what it is. So Proctor says Tommy's the real threat. All right. Ghost says, have your house cleaned from top to bottom. Proctor's like, I did. Do it again. Do it again after that. Okay. Now, here we go with the meeting with Tommy, Dre, and Uriel. Okay. Uriel pins Julio's murder on the little underling. Okay. They beating him up, kicking his ass or whatever. And Uriel is saying, yeah, he killed Julio. He cut the tattoo off his neck, and we thought we'd just offer him up as a sacrifice to you to make it right. Okay. So Tommy blows his head off, the underling. He blows his head off. Okay. But not before the underling did say that Uriel was lying. Okay. But he got killed anyway. He was a casualty. Okay. So Tommy also at that point says, look, I want a meeting. I want my territory back. That's number one. Okay. But Uriel says that's going to have to come from up top. Okay. Tommy's like, I don't give a fuck where it comes from, but either I can shoot your ass right here and kill you and they'll come to me, or you can set up the meeting. The only difference is your monkey ass is going to be dead. So pick your poison. Okay. Uriel says he's going to set it up. Now, Tommy leaves, and it's just Dre and Uriel. Uriel says, you said this sacrifice will work. Dre says, well, you said you wasn't going to make it look personal, and you did, so I guess we both fucked up, okay? And this shit is going to start a war. If this shit starts a war, we're going to both lose, okay? So, Dre knows he's in over his head, and he's floundering, and he's just trying to find a way at this point. So, now, this part of the episode is where the Jimenez folks come and they kill the dude and his wife, okay? Because they said the wife was snitching, and the dude was more concerned with snorting the cocaine rather than selling it. So they come, they kill them, and they go on head on with the baby. Okay. Now, Mock confronts Sax about Sax's meeting with Bailey. Okay, because we remember that whole thing happened right because Bailey said he had some shit. Okay, so Sax went and met with him, right? So Mock, okay, is like, how do I know you didn't meet with Bailey for your own self-preservation? Okay, we don't know that because Bailey's ass is dead. No one knows Bailey is dead yet, but Bailey's dead. So no one knows that, but we all know everybody here is pretty much out for self. Now the interview, Olivia is questioning Ghost and Tasha. So of course the trial comes up. The fact that Tasha's not wearing her wedding ring comes up. Uh his race, like she's like, well, do you think your race had anything to do with the whole thing or whatever? They answer the questions and everything. Tasha says, well, I had to sell my wedding ring to pay for this defense team. Terry's back there coaching her, okay? And she also says that she's ready to rebuild with James. Again, this is a facade, okay? We all know that. This is a facade. They're trying to maintain appearances, okay? So now, Angie and Donovan, okay? They're over at Angie's apartment, and Donovan brings her the footage that she asked for so they can review it, okay? He and her, like, they talking, and Donovan tells Angie about the Cooper Sacks meeting with Bailey Markham. Okay, she didn't know about that, and she didn't know about the other shit with something that happened with Sacks and that whole Lobos thing. I kind of missed that. If y'all caught that small snippet, let me know down in the comments because I kind of missed it. But anyway, now we got Dre and Tariq. They're talking in the car. Tariq wants really just the truth about the whole situation. He doesn't know who to believe, so he's asking Dre. Dre's like, why'd you cover for me? Tariq's like, I figured I'd cover for you and you give me the truth. So he asks Tariq asks Dre if Ghost set Kanan up to go to jail. Dre really doesn't say too much, okay? And Tariq also asks if Tasha had anything to do with it. Dre's like, you a smart kid, okay? So Dre didn't really say too much. So Tariq really didn't get an answer, okay? Now, Tommy, this is the meeting that he requested with the Jimenez folks, okay? So he's explaining to the Jimenez what his issue is, that Julio was supposed to have been safe. He got killed anyway. And then also that Tommy was the one that killed Lobos. Now they thought that he got because they set the wheels in motion for Lobos to get stabbed in jail, but we know he didn't die. Tommy and Ghost were the ones that ended up actually killing Lobos after the whole breakout situation. So Tommy's like, nigga, you owe me twice. Y'all owe me 2 times, okay? So I want back our territory we gave y'all to begin with. I want 6 new Toros Logos corners. Plus, I want your port connects. Okay? Because y'all niggas been benefiting from Lobos being dead because y'all #1 in Mexico and y'all still running stateside. So, I'ma need y'all to run me my shit. Okay? They say we gonna think about it. Tommy say don't take too long. Alright? Now, Tariq is still sipping lean. Okay, he's at the house sipping lean, playing video games. Ghost comes in and is like, I need to know how you met Kanan. Okay, Tariq tells him some bullshit story. Okay, and they go back and forth about that. Now at that time, Terezi calls, and we know what Terezi wants. Terezi still wants to talk to Tommy. Okay, but in that whole, that scene right there, not too much happened, but they still, this Kanan, they still trying to, Ghost is puzzled about how Kanan just popped the fuck back up when he thought he killed him. Tariq wants to know all of everything that's going on, and no one's really getting any answers, but Dre is the through line. Dre is how Tariq met Kanan, and I'm waiting for that to be found out. Okay. Um, Over at karaoke, this is whack. They over at cheesy. They at karaoke. Terry and Tasha over at karaoke. They singing. Oh, Tasha, she going back to her little 3LW days when she was she channeling her vocal skills or whatever. So she sings the Whitney Houston song or whatever. Whatever. That was cheesy. Okay. Now Sandoval and Mock again are talking, and Sandoval is setting Donovan up yet again. Still building, still framing. Okay. Um. At the karaoke, they kiss, of course, after everything is said and done. Oh, you can sing. Yeah, you can sing. They kiss. Go figure. Okay. Now, Tasha is at the crib with Ghost. Ghost surprises her with a new wedding ring. Okay. He slides a ring on her finger and is like, oh yeah, the last time I did this, you made me a better criminal. Yesterday at the interview, you made me a better man. It's a party coming up with councilmen, council whatever, with Simon. I need you to wear this. I need you to look the part. Okay. So that was that. Now they're at the party. Okay. And Councilman Leonard he's on the Minority Trade Commission. Now Simon's pushing Leonard in Ghost's face because Simon wants to roll with Leonard. Now he meets Ghost also because he was standing there and he was talking to Olivia, and Olivia all up in Ghost's face talking about, I want to know what lies beneath or some bullshit. Yeah, Tasha don't love you no more, whatever. Okay. She introduces him to Rashad Tate, which played by Lorenz Tate, and I don't know what it is, but Lorenz Tate has not aged not one bit. I mean, he looks the exact same as he did in Love Jones. Okay. But anyway, okay. So now he and Councilman Tate, Ghost and Councilman Tate, start talking, and Councilman Tate is like, I got this property in Queens that you probably would be interested in, but Leonard wanted him to go with this Manhattan property. Okay. So, and we'll see, Simon later on is like, leave him alone. We can't be too sure that he can be controlled or whatever. Leonard is the dude that we gonna go with. Ghost is like, well, luckily your ass is a silent partner, so sit your ass over there basically and shut up. Okay. So Simon didn't like that, of course. Now we're gonna see what that means later on down the line. Okay. Because we know Simon gave Tasha that money, and Simon's assuming that Ghost is going to go along with whatever Simon says. Okay. So let's see. I don't know, y'all. I think, okay, so we just gonna wrap this up real quick. Okay, so now Tariq is still sipping lean. Raina confronts him about everything going on. Okay. Raina's like, well, Tariq, we can just ask mom if she can send us to this prep school in, I think she said, Connecticut. Tariq snaps at her, is like, I ain't going to no nerdy ass school somewhere, whatever. Tariq, pump your brakes, okay? Because you're doing way too much. Like, he didn't want to go to a white anyway. That boy is dumb, and I think he got off way too easily with that whole jukebox Kanan situation. Like, something has to happen to really have this hit home for him, because he's still being an asshole to his sister. He's just all the way just wrong, and he a junkie now because he on this lean. Okay. But in that confrontation, Tariq is saying that his parents are liars, Uncle Tommy's a liar, on and on and on. Okay. Now he ends up, because Raina pushes him, and he ends up grabbing her and shoving her out the room, and it's like, too bad mom's not here to save you. Okay. That's fucked up, Tariq. Anyway, so, oh, also I want to mention, at the party, Terry noticed the ring on Tasha's finger, and Tasha's like, oh no, don't worry about it. She's trying to explain, but it's the wrong place, wrong time. Okay. And then we see Sandoval. Sandoval goes over to Donovan's house with the pistol ready. He gonna murder Donovan, okay? But Donovan wasn't there because we know Donovan is over at Angie's house, okay? Now, Angie and Donovan, they are at Angie's apartment watching the tapes, and they see Donovan go upstairs. I mean, not Donovan, I'm sorry. They see Sandoval go upstairs, okay? And they like, holy shit, you know. And then Sax shows up at Angie's house, right? And he doesn't know Donovan is sitting back there, okay? So he's talking to Angie and is like, yeah, you know, I think Mock is starting to suspect me of Greg's murder. It's not me. Angie's like, yeah, I know, I don't think it's you either, but it's you know, Donovan. Basically, Cooper Sax basically says, you know, it's strong evidence pointing towards Donovan, okay? Angie pulls the door open and he sees Donovan. He's like, oh, hey, Donovan, yeah. But you could see the look on Donovan's face was like, this motherfucker, okay? So Angie invites Sax in, okay? So I guess they're gonna review the tape together. Now, Tasha shows up at Terry's house, okay? And it's like, oh, what if I never met Ghost? And anyway, she ends up busting it open for Terry, okay? Tasha is basically doing the same thing that Jamie was doing with Angie, trying to live like, you know, trying to live this life that's not really them. You know what I mean? And I mean, yeah, Ghost did it to her, but should she just go and start twerking her husband's defense attorney? Like, that's only going to end up bad, you know? So, damn, Tasha, really? Such a disappointment. But anyway, okay. So, Tommy and Ghost, they're meeting up, okay? And Ghost tells Tommy, call Terezi, okay? And Tommy's like, well, why? You know? And that's when Ghost tells Tommy about the fact that he killed C.O. Charlie in jail. Terezi helped him clean it up and cover it up, okay? So he owes him this, you know, this one for, he told him he would have Tommy call him, okay? So they also talk about the fact that Tommy killed Bailey, okay? So each of them have done shit, okay? And they need each other, basically, okay? And Tommy says Proctor took care of Bailey's body and the Ruiz tape, okay? But Ghost is like, you know, we need to do better than that. Basically, we don't know if Proctor kept it because he's not our attorney anymore. He's an accomplice, you know, so ain't no telling. Like, he could have the tape hidden somewhere, you know, so later on he could flip on us to save his own ass, basically. So anyway, Tommy agrees to call Terezi, and Ghost is like, I'm gonna deal with Proctor. Okay, now right here, this is the main, you know, this is the part of the episode that we all pretty much wanted to see, okay? Because it's been a lot of people that was like, what if, okay? But anyway, here we go. Okay, so Tommy's in his car, hitting his spliff. He calls Terezi. Now, they're talking, okay? And Terezi comes out and says, I'm the pappy, basically, okay? Tommy's like, nigga, what are you talking about? My damn father is dead, you know? Basically, like, nigga, you crazy. But what sealed it was Terezi said, it wasn't me that made the choice to not be in your life. It was Kate. And Tommy's like, how the fuck do you know my mother? She was a dancer at the club back in Atlantic City. You know, I got this thing about redheads. There you have it. Okay. So Terezi wants to see Tommy. Now, he wants to see Tommy. Okay. So Tommy is basically sitting there stuck. And that was the end of the episode. One thing I did forget to mention was when Mock confronted Proctor about Bailey and told Proctor that his number was the last number Bailey called, and his phone was pinging off of towers near Proctor's house. Proctor's basically like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So anyway, y'all, that was the episode. And sorry if I was a bit all over the place. I got a lot of shit going on. But y'all get down in them comments. Again, like I said, let me know what y'all thought about the episode. The fact that we now know that Terezi is Tommy's pappy. Okay? Like I said, a lot of people were speculating, and y'all were right about that. So, y'all let me know again, like I said, what y'all thought about the episode. I want to thank all of my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in every week for these episode reviews. And listen, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Click that subscribe button down below. Turn your notifications on so you can tune in for my power review episodes every week. Okay? And make sure you leave comments, because I love talking to y'all down in the comments. I love to get y'all perspective on the show. Okay? So anyway, y'all, we will be back next week for another episode of Power. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.